everyone. Welcome back to Can Talks with Lily and Jules. This is episode 4. We've got an exciting episode for you today, but let's first get into some announcements.
Um, I don't have any announcements. My announcements is that I am in mourning. I am a sad girl today, as is everybody else, because so many people left today. So many people left. Casey, Egroove, Steve-O, Liv, Torian, and the Moulin Rouge Australia cast.
And
And
Pepe from the tour.
Pepe. So sorry if you hear me crying. That's because I'm very upset. Very sad. It's super excited to see what they do next. Absolutely love them, support them. It's just always sad when people leave, it's.
Wait, did you say David?
Oh my God. I'm so sorry, David. David also left today.
David
It's just
Marino, by the way,
Marino, not
not
David
David
Harris.
Harris.
Um, we hope doesn't leave yet. Please don't. I don't think I can handle any more trauma of people leaving.
But guess who starts as Christian on Broadway, Jules? In 2 days.
Derek Klena. He is back. 3.0, baby. We're ready for him. We're ready for him. I am so excited. I'm very excited to see him next week. It feels like it's been forever. Anyway, enough of us mourning and soaping around and crying. Let's go on to today's topic.
Yes. So, first of all, Jules and I right now are twinning. We have our Moulin Rouge hoodies on.
They're very comfy.
They are
Anyone
very
knows how
comfy.
comfy they are.
They're super soft.
I'm also wearing a frog headband because I love frogs. Well, I don't love frogs. I like cartoon frogs.
It's so cute. So cute. Anyway, we are going to be talking about the big debate, Christian versus the Duke.
Team Christian v Team Duke.
Now, Jules, if anybody follows her Instagram account at Come What May Memes, y'all already know she's Team Duke.
I make so many memes about the Duke because Team Duke, baby, all the way.
We love a good villain, first of all. Um, but yeah, we're gonna talk about this Rouge-wide debate. So I guess we should just go with like each character, pros and cons.
Let's get into it. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the Duke because Team Duke girly over here. Okay. So okay, so everyone's like the Duke's a bad guy, and the Duke did all this bad stuff. Again, all of these are just like alleged comments as well. I just want everyone to like understand.
It's a word of
Allegedly.
mouth, by
It's
the
word of
way.
mouth. Okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so I'm gonna start with my first pro of the Duke. He's got money.
That was
He
my
is a
first pro
man
too.
of wealth and taste. I mean, in 1899, baby, that's what you need is a man of wealth and taste. That is my first pro of Duke.
That is also my first pro of Duke. I also said that he has a set life for Satine, even though it may not be the life that she wants specifically, he still has stability. If the Rouge is going bankrupt and they
Which it is.
all, and which it is, and they're all going to lose their jobs at the Rouge, she has a life to go to that's stable and that's there and that will get her somewhere.
A yellow chateau and a carriage. What more could you want? Oh, and a watch from Cartier. You know how expensive those things
And
are?
like the best wardrobe ever. It
Oh,
could be uncomfortable, but like at the same time, beautiful.
the big giant purple hat. You will always be famous. So that's our first pro of Duke. Now I feel like we have to say a pro of Christian. Ugh, kidding. I love you, Christian. Okay, so my pro of Christian is he's a very talented songwriter.
Oh my god.
singer-songwriter, folk sound, and then backstage romance happened. So I'm a little confused what his definition of folk sound is. If someone could explain to me, I really appreciate it.
Maybe
Uh,
that's what he thinks folk sound is.
hey, 1899 times are a bit different down there. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Um, I think so. A pro for Christian is that he is kind of pushed around a lot, mainly by Ziegler. And well, I mean, to be fair, his friends, Santiago and Toulouse-Lautrec, they are first the people who are just like, you have to do this and you have to go into the elephant and you have to, sing this song and pitch this song and get her to put on this big show at the Rouge. First of all, why does Christian agrees to it, but does he really want to be thrown into that life? And then as far as like Ziegler goes, Ziegler's the one who introduces Christian to absinthe because he's just like, I have a way to make him forget about Satine. And of course, he envisions Satine as the Green Fairy once he drinks the alcohol, but he does kind of get pushed around a lot. A part of that might be his fault that he's not able to like say something or stand up for himself, but yeah, he gets
I
pushed
think
around a lot.
Christian's very naive as well, though. He's very naive. And you can see that in the show. Like he falls in love with Satine and he's very doe-eyed and like, oh my God, I love this girl. And so I think he's also, yeah, he's very naive. He doesn't understand.
He's just this guy who came from Lima, Ohio to France to follow his dreams. And he's the kind of guy who's like go with the flow. He's very spontaneous. He just wants to live life and see where he ends up.
Let's move back to the Duke. I think we should give another pro to the Duke. We're gonna do our pros first, then we're gonna do our cons. Let's start with a good and with a bad. Another pro of the Duke. I mean, have you seen the Duke? He's very good looking.
Not including the movie Duke,
Okay,
just
not
by
the
the
movie Duke, but
way.
he's a good looking guy. He's got nice outfit. You've seen the sheer, shirt he wears? That's
Oh,
nice.
the
Some good
pastel suit,
the
the
pastel
purple.
suit, he's a good looking guy. So
That
the
guy liner,
pro,
the guy liner.
the guy liner, sponsored by Mac. We're not sponsored by Mac. I shouldn't have said that. Whoops. Yeah, so good looking guy. Can't really go wrong with that.
True. Yeah. Um, I would probably say the same thing. He is excluding the movie Duke, which, by the way, no offense to the actor who plays the movie Duke, but they did make him not so attractive in the movie. I feel like that was planned though by Baz Luhrmann. He's very extreme. But yeah, I mean, musical Duke, just that entrance alone with the spotlight and the coats and the oh my god. Also, I don't know. I think I've only seen it on one Duke, but I think his shoes are shiny or sparkly. Like there's sparkle on his boots, and I'm just like I'm obsessed. His show is obsessed with sparkles, and I am therefore obsessed.
And what does Christian have? I love a jacket. I love a trench coat. Woo. All the Christian fans are gonna come after me. I'm so sorry. You know how much I love Christian, how much I love him. But for the purpose of this episode, I gotta be a bit harsh on him. Sorry.
No, I mean
Um,
the Duke does have the wardrobe. He has the fits.
that is true. Again, man of wealth and taste, you guys. Gotta go for that. Let's do another pro Christian. I have to give it to him. Christian is also very good looking too. I think Christian, and again, he's so sweet and doe-eyed. I think Satine liked that as well because he was so kind of carefree in a way as well because he packed up his life in America, moved to Montmartre, just straight out the bat, like, and he was like, screw it, why not, and let's go to Moulin Rouge and do this. So I think Satine probably also liked that, like it was just some guy didn't care, kind of thing, just took a chance, and he also pursued her, and you see that he pursues her, and I don't know, I feel like there's a part of me that Satine liked that. She liked the whole him pursuing her, and maybe it made her feel like, special because I feel like if you watch the movie, she says in the movie to Zidler about something along the lines of her whole life, she's always been made to feel like she was only worth what someone would pay her for. So I think she definitely, when Christian does do that and is very carefree, but also wants to chase her and stuff, maybe it makes her feel quite wanted, and she's never felt that before. So I think that's definitely a little bit of a special thing between those two.
Yeah, I wrote the same thing down. It's just, first of all, he kind of does have Satine's best interests at heart, in a way, because I know I talked about how like the Duke has this set life for her, and yes, like it's stable, it's really nice. She gets a chateau, she gets a carriage, she gets all of this stuff, but the Duke doesn't really understand that Satine might not even want that. She loves performing, and I think Christian really knows that. And it's just like, look, if the Moulin Rouge is gonna go away, we will figure something out. And that's really scary, obviously, not knowing what to do when you lose something. But I think, as he kind of said, like that spontaneity, it also kind of piques a little bit of interest because it's like, you never know what's going to happen next. And then again, he just wants love. And as he said, like, he does chase after her, but it's in a different way of like those people who might pay to see her or pay to only, be intimate with her or something like that. It's a different kind of chase because he wants to love her. He wants to care for her and care about her. And that is something that she probably has not experienced. I also think she might see a little bit of her in him as well because we don't really know Satine's backstory, but it could have very well been the same thing. She moved to France, or she grew up in France, maybe. Um, but she chose the life of being in a club, being in a nightclub and being a part of the Bohemians, really. And she chose that artist life and not the wealthy aristocrat life.
I definitely think she wants Hannah Montana reference here, but like the best of both worlds, she wants that whole thing with Christian, but then also she's like, oh, like the Duke is offering me all of this. And the Duke does say he's like, I want your heart and all this. And so I get, and she says, like, I can give you what I can. Again, I don't know if she's like used to someone being like that because she has always fought to be worth whatever someone's going to pay her. So I think she's also a little divided as well. I think she's a little bit divided on who to choose.
That's kind of the whole
And
point of this show, too.
it's the whole point. Yeah, no, exactly. So I think it's again, we don't know the backstory. And really interesting is this is another episode topic, but we need to get into is backstories and after what happens afterwards, because I think there's so much room for
It's just a
things to happen.
snippet of time, and you
Small
don't really
snippet.
know what happens before because it starts at one part of a snippet, and you don't really know what happens after because
Hmm.
there's really no other there's no like future scenarios.
Mm-mm.
You have like that little snippet of like, yeah, and then I wrote or whatever, but that's basically it. Then it's come what may reprise, and
And that's
boom,
it.
you're done with the show.
I mean, we know a little bit like how Toulouse mentions how like she's been turning tricks since she was 13 and he loved her and all this. So there's a little bit of backstory. The same with the Duke. There's no like backstory for the Duke, really. We don't really know what the Duke was before. I mean, if you read the script, he's like a British you know, aristocracy. But apart from that, we don't the only thing we really know is that there was a girl he used to like before Satine. So we know,
And
you know.
also, we only know that he gets rejected by Satine, and then he walks off stage. We don't even know if he attended the performance. We don't know if he
I
left the
need to know
theater.
these things.
Yeah,
These are good questions to ask. I feel like These are good questions to ask and think about because, like, what happens? What happens?
He
What
literally just kind
happens?
of disappears. And we're
He just
like,
goes,
well,
and next thing we see him in Encore. So your mind wanders, and you're like, okay, what happens to them next? Um, but furthermore, let's talk about a few more pros. Another Dukie pro. Go ahead, Lily. Give me another pro you have.
ooh. Well, one thing is that he doesn't really know an affair was happening behind his back. Um, I talked about it a little bit, I think, in the first episode, but it's just yes, he's violent. I get that. But but I would be mad if somebody was sneaking around my back for months. Everybody knew it. Even Zietler knows it. And I am the only one not knowing, and it's secret like that. And then I find out months later. That's like cheating. It's literally cheating in a relationship. And I understand like the circumstances, like Zietler kind of set up with the Duke and Satine, but it's just like seriously, like he does have a right to be mad because he doesn't know, he doesn't have any knowledge of what's going on with Christian, and Jules has something to say about it because
Look, look. You're so real for that, Lily. Okay. And I'm going to tell you why you're so real for that. I made a meme about the Duke because, everyone's like, oh, he threw a vial of acid in a woman's face.
allegedly,
Allegedly. Okay. Is there any, evidence that he did it? Absolutely not.
again, word
Now,
of mouth. You only
word of
hear it from
mouth.
Nini, who
Yeah. And I feel like if the Duke did do that, he'd get someone to pay. He'd like basically get someone to do it for him. Okay, do you really think the Duke's gonna go around the back alleys of Montmartre and do that? Come on, man of wealth and taste. Let's be real. Okay, so saying that, with the meme I made, I had a comment from Andrew Brewer, who is the Duke on the national tour
this
of
is my
Moulin Rouge.
absolute favorite
This is one
comment
of
on
my
the
favorite
post.
comments I've ever received on a post, and he went, it's almost like he overreacted to his girlfriend, who he purchased a home and wardrobe for, incessantly cheating on him with one of his employees for their entire relationship while everyone knew, yet did not mention it to him for 2 months. Go off, Dukie.
I mean,
2 months had passed. Here they are having an affair, and Dukie is, thank God for Pierre, because if Pierre wasn't there, you know, well,
I mean, what if Christian and Satine got intimate and she's pregnant? I mean,
well, they didn't
like,
have any Jerry Springer back there, so I feel like that would have been really interesting. And you know what? So I don't blame him for being mad. You know what? I would be mad too if for 2 months, like I said, everybody knew. Everybody knew about this affair.
like way to
And
keep me in the loop.
I love the way he's just like, I love the way he says one of his employees, because really it's true. He owns the Moulin Rouge. So you bought this club. You basically bought possession of this club because you wanted the show to go on and because like you love Satine or whatever he thinks of Satine. And then one of your composers is basically racketeering with your love of your life or whatever she is to you. You know what? Good on Dukie. Good on Dukie. And all of y'all can come after me for saying that. But you know what? He's so real for that.
Think about if you were in the Duke's place and I don't want to know. See, I don't know if it was like love specifically, but like you have interest in this girl, you're in a relationship of some sort, and you're told it's meant to be exclusive, right? Imagine being in the Duke's position and finding out 2 months later that, oh, she was screwing around with another guy while everybody else knew. I feel like y'all would be mad too.
You know, so I kind of have to agree with Dookie a little bit. Now, there was another comment on there that made me giggle. Dylan Paul, who understudies for the Duke, said, please, he paid someone for most of the services and he paid fairly. Again, I bet you that's true. and I agree. He if he allegedly did do it, which I can't, he did pay pretty well. But will we ever know? Probably not. But, you know, I have to, if you look at morals and all this, the Dookie, I kind of understand. I would be mad too if I bought a wardrobe and a home and a carriage for someone and they were sleeping with the composer. I'd be a bit like, okay. Especially if everyone knew, like that would,
Yeah, it's just everybody
that would,
knowing.
everyone knew, like that's like, and you kind of see that. I love, in the rehearsal scene too, when she does, oh, because she doesn't love you. And everyone just goes mute. And you
Painter in
can
the back.
see this painter in the back's like,
uh,
and you just see, I don't know for other Dukies, but um I've noticed this a lot with David because he's like the Duke I've seen the most. Um sorry, excuse me. I just coughed. It was really loud. Um sorry, I'm trying not to laugh. David, he has that moment and you kind of see him look at everybody and he's a bit like kind of embarrassed in a way because he's like, wait a second, like he has that realization, holy crap, everyone knew about this before I did. And he's like, wait a second.
that's why everybody laughs after. Like, some people might not know, like, it's a serious scene. Why are people laughing? Because I don't know if every Duke does it, but I'm pretty sure most of them do, or it might be in the same directions. But Jules is making um no, but it might be in the same directions where the Duke, like after Christian says, because she doesn't love you, and there's like a slight pause for the ooh reaction from the audience. And then the Duke looks over at Ziedler, like, did you know about this? And Ziedler's like, I don't know about it. Like, what are you talking about? Which he fully knew about it, but besides the fact.
Yeah, it's very awkward that scene. It's like I love hearing everyone like, ooh, I'm not gonna lie, I laugh a little bit in that scene, and it's not disrespect to the actors. It just always just the way he just blurts it out. And then he just tries to backtrack. He's like, him. Um, she
It's
doesn't
always the
love him.
audience. It's the audience that makes me laugh
The
because it's
audience,
always the
they're like,
people. It's the people who haven't seen the show, which there's a number of people who haven't seen the show in the audience. But yeah, it's always the people who haven't seen the show yet, and he blurts it out, and then those audience members go, or ooh,
and it's just so funny to me.
it's so
And
good.
but yeah, no, it's that moment. And like you see Christian realize, like, oh crap. And then, like I said, he tries to backtrack. And the Duke's just standing there, and everyone's standing there, and like he's probably embarrassed because you've just said this in front of the
And
whole
Satine's probably there,
company.
like, I want to
Uh-oh.
die.
She's like, well,
Can I go somewhere else, please?
on that note, so it's definitely and you see the Duke lose his cool a little bit. A little bit, he really loses his cool. I mean, it depends on the Dookie, but Tam used to like
Scream.
lose it. And you can see again, just everyone just like, oh no, because and the scene afterwards, they're like, that's it, the club's finished, the show's finished because the Duke's gonna pull out because he's like, I need to consider my financial investment. So I think yeah, I think the Duke, you know what? I think the Duke has a little bit of a reasonable rage for a reason. I think kind of have to get the point to him for being mad. I know a lot of people like
Yeah.
he's awful, he's mean. We love a good villain, I know. And I just I don't agree with I think the Duke does, but I kind of understood why he was upset. So anyway, because I could sit here and talk about Dookie all night. Let's do another pro Christian.
Yeah, so for me, speaking personally, I'm a golden retriever energy kind of person. I'm very attracted to golden retriever energies, so Christian is definitely would be my type. Just because he has that energy of like a golden retriever. He's a sweet little puppy. And you just want to hug him and take care of him and tell him it's gonna be okay. And I just love that energy, and I think a lot of people like that energy because um it's a very calm innocence, youthful almost. And it's just the cutest thing. The little dances he does, depending on the Christian, but like the "Never Gonna Give You Up" dance, always cute. Elephant Love Medley, the "I Love You Always Forever," that dance, always hilarious and cute. He's just a cute, quirky little guy. And
He's
you
very
can't
quirky.
help but just be like, oh, he's adorable.
He is very adorable and he's very because he left today, I just want to mention about Casey. He used to do when they would introduce themselves at Shut Up and Raise, and he would just the way he would say Cleveland just used to it would make me laugh. And he's
Because he's
very
from he's
well,
from that
that's
area.
he's from that
He's
area,
yeah.
Casey Cott is, but also it's just again the never gonna give you up, or when they do the take on me. He used to do it so funny, and he would just do like little slow motion. So yeah, no, I agree. He has very golden retriever energy. You don't see the Duke have that light side. You don't see the Duke really laugh at all or smile. The only time he really smiles is when he's talking about Satine and that, and he's like, "Oh, all my things, like the sparkle." Um, and apart from that, like you don't see him laugh, you don't see him smile, so he's very, very serious. And then
Mhm.
you have Christian, who's a complete polar opposite, who's very funny. And though, given that in part two, act two, sorry, you see him like turn and change to a new guy, and you're like, ooh, big oof. Love makes you crazy, apparently. Um,
I mean, doesn't Taylor Swift have a song? Don't blame
um,
me, love made me crazy.
yes, there
Mhm.
you go. I couldn't think of the song. I was like, it's somewhere.
It's like one of my favorite songs right now. So, but like, it's true though.
Taylor Swift Reputation era was made for Moulin Rouge.
Honestly,
Like, look what you made me do. All of that. It was all made for Moulin Rouge. Um,
and it could be either Christian or the Duke.
yeah. So I think those are my pros right now. Do you have any more pros? I can't think. I have a few cons.
Oh, yeah, I have a few cons for both.
I
So
think we should move on to
just
our little cons
yeah,
because all right. I'm gonna start with my Christian con. Well. And
the
your
favoritism is real,
the favoritism is real.
but I love it.
Um, I just like that. I just love my Dukie. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get canceled for this. I'm gonna be like, you like the Duke? What's wrong with you? Sorry.
I
We
mean,
did
how
not
can you
plan this
not like
episode.
Tam
Oh, how can you not like Tam?
and
Yeah.
Andrew Brewer and Dylan Paul and David Harris? Like,
Harris, all of them. Like, how can you not like them? There's so many Dukies.
oh wait,
Um,
I have one more pro for the Duke though. Speaking of the actor, just it depends on the actor, but some of them just can be so funny.
oh my God, some of them are hilarious.
Because the unhinged like nature of the Duke, the way that he is in the musical, it leaves a lot of room for creativity, and some of the Dukes are just outright hilarious.
Sarcastic too, like
Like so good.
sarcastic. I love the little witty sarcasm. Some of them come out. Again, it depends on the actor and the actor's portrayal. But some of them are like really witty and like got that little things of sarcasm, and I like that. Like Tam was very sarcastic sometimes.
Hmm.
Um,
And Dylan's done the same thing too.
Dylan, yeah. But then like you have people like David. David's very quite serious with his,
He's very serious, but he's also just naturally smooth. Bless you.
apologies, my allergies are getting to me. I had to mute my mic because I would have sneezed on here and it would have sent shockwaves through the world. I'm a very loud sneezer,
Me too.
everybody.
Me too.
Can I just say this episode we did not plan to be laughing.
It's been a
Okay,
long day.
it's been a long weekend. But no, that is yeah, he can be very smooth, very smooth. He's very smooth and charismatic. But
He reminds me of like a natural. I don't know if any of you have seen White Collar, but he reminds me of like Neil Caffrey. Just the smooth, attractive, like knows what he wants and gets what he wants. So,
You have me
like a con
stumped.
man, but like the Duke
You
and he
have
has
me
money.
stumped. I have no idea what white collar is.
Oh my god, it's so good. It's so good. I mean, I don't know who else has seen the show, who else are listeners. But yeah,
I am so bad at keeping up with stuff like that. I
he's just like a
literally,
smooth con man, basically.
oh, no need
He's
to ask.
charming. He
He's a
knows what he
smooth
wants.
operator.
A smooth
Um,
operator. The
Smooth operator.
Derek,
Every
the
time I
Derek
just,
TikTok.
all the time, it's in my head. It's like, people like, this is what runs in my head. It runs in my head is, no need to ask. He's a smooth
Same with
operator.
the Elvis Presley song.
Oh, yes, that's great. Um, okay. So
Cons.
we're gonna get we're gonna be absolutely on a tangent all night. This episode's gonna be like 10 hours long. Okay, cons. So I'm gonna start with Christian Con. Your song reprise. Christian comes on stage to see Satine, and he basically, I have to be careful the way I word this. He kind of tries to gaslight her a little bit. Very manipulating. There you go. I would maybe say manipulating. He pulls the gun on himself. He's like, look at me, Satine. Why else live if not for love? And then does that. I don't know. To me, it's kind of a con. It's a little
Yeah.
bit manipulative. I don't know if I like that. And
Yeah, I was
it's
gonna write that down, but then I was just like, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's true though. It's just I get like love makes you crazy, as Taylor Swift said. Um, but it's just yeah. I mean, to get to that point of like this is how I'm gonna win her back. I'm gonna try to turn the gun on me, and that'll force her to like fall in love with me and choose me. Even though, he's unaware of it, Christian is, but Satine had already pushed away the Duke and said, like, nah, you don't own me. But, you know, Christian doesn't know that. So, for all intents and purposes, yeah.
a little bit, yeah. I think it's a bit of a red flag for Christian, I would say. It's a little bit of a sorry, Christian fans, but it's a little bit of a red flag. I just that's my starting pro. My starting pro. That's not a pro. Oh my god, that's not a pro. That's my starting
Whoa.
con. Whoa, okay.
Yikes.
That's not a green flag.
No, yeah, I did write, like, he can get a little violent when, first of all, he's under the influence. Um, and second of all, just love makes him crazy. And he
Little
says it in the
violent.
song. Like, go
Love
say
a
it in the
little
song.
violent. You know what? That's really interesting you say that because
I
I've
mean,
had
not as violent as the Duke,
people have said to
but
me they're like the Duke's.
I mean, he is. But
Yes. He is. That is true. I will
I
agree.
think the Duke is a little bit more physically violent, but emotionally, yeah. Christian is because he's an emotional guy. Uh,
Though, like,
so,
I've read that before. I guess they changed it, but Christian used to swing for the Duke when he would come into the apartment and he would be like, I'm here for Satine. And like he would
oh yeah.
swing for the Duke. Um,
And that's when he's still under the influence,
he's
right?
still under the influence of
Yeah.
absence. Absence. If you guys have never had absence, it's so good.
See, I didn't like it, so but
Really?
I
I
might have
liked it.
had it wrong. It tasted like licorice to me,
It
so
does.
I
I mean,
don't know.
that is the taste of it, but I had it at the
I
Moulin
don't like
Rouge.
black licorice is the problem. But I've had a little bit of it mixed in a drink, and that's fine.
Well, that's what I had it is I had it mixed in at the Moulin Rouge. Very fitting to have it. And it was
See,
like,
I would do that, but first of all, I have to pee. Second of all, I want to remember the show. So
you know, um, really off topic. But last time, not last time, back in November was the last time I had the drink. Um, and I took a sip of it right when Toulouse said blood-sucking corporate vampires. And anyone knows me knows that's one of my favorite lines. I
oh
nearly spat my
no.
drink out and I was in standing room. I was like, because that poor lady in front of me would have had absence in her hair.
Oh
Because
god.
I don't know why, but I was like, oh, I'm thirsty. And he said
Would
it.
have
I
been
was
on the
like,
Reddit pages.
oh, good, I read it. It's a different story for another time. Okay, so let's do did you just give a con? Yeah, you did. No, you didn't.
Yeah.
She did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I disagreed with yours.
Oh yeah. All right. Another con for who are we going for this time?
Oh, the Duke, because we just did Christian.
Oh yeah. Duke's I don't know what you're talking about. The Duke's perfect. I mean, what do you mean?
Yeah, the first con that I got is that he's violent. He is a little, yeah. I mean, he
Mhm.
allegedly did all that stuff. But when he's with Satine in his mansion, um, and he's like telling her like you're gonna reject the boy, you'll shatter him, you'll break his heart, and like he throws her on the chaise lounge or is this couch? I don't know. I call it a couch. I don't know what it's called in the aristocracy of
Very long chair is what I call it.
yeah.
There is a word for it, and I just don't remember. So I'm like, yeah, you know the really long black chair, you know that really long one, what feels like it's like 12 foot long. Yeah, that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. So that I mean, and he's like grabbing her by the arm and like just it's very frightening. Um and the way that he like pushes her down with force too. And she's also coughing up blood at this point. She's very sick. We're unaware that if like they're aware of her sickness, both the Duke and Christian. Um well, Christian obviously does not
Yeah, I was
know.
gonna say we know Christian's not aware.
I don't know if the Duke was aware, but still, she is not well. She is crying. Um that scene was just so
I
heartbreaking. And
always
then
feel so bad for
Christian
her.
goes in and Christian goes in and is just like singing this song or whatever, and you know Satine wants to sing it back. You know she wants to run away with Christian, but she's stuck in this situation and she has to reject him and it kills. It's just not, like it's killing her on the inside. And it's just so sad. And the way that she just tenses up when the Duke comes back and just like, you are mine now. Like it totally shows kind of that shift of like the Duke being charming to the Duke wanting to possess someone and own someone. So yeah, that would be the biggest con is that he's a little bit physical.
No, I completely agree. And I think that scene always gets me. I always feel so bad for Satine in that scene. You can tell she's like frightened. And again, it comes back to that old adage that I think she's stuck between a rock and a hard place because she's has two guys fawning themselves over her and she's not used to it. So I think she's very confused and um but I think
Not only that, but it's like one person wants to take her away and just love and care about her, and the other one has that life of stability and money, and she's conflicted between that. Do I want to go with somebody who has spontaneity and love and care, but not exactly know where my life is gonna end up? Even though I know I'm dying, but um, at the same time, do I want a life with the Duke where he has money and like a life already kind of there for me and at least stability, even if like if she happened to choose the Duke, which I mean she doesn't, but it's just like she has this life, but would he warm up and have her do something that she wants to do that like compromise? I don't know. Something like that. But yeah, she has a very hard decision. But that's the point of the show. So
but yeah, and I think also though, so going back to what you said in that scene when he grabs her and all that, and he says, believe me, my dear, I'll have him snatched off the street and all that. So I'm gonna eat my words here and agree that yes, maybe he did do some bad things in the past. And I think
that was
so
very graphic. What is
very,
it?
very very detailed as well. Like it's a bit suspicious if you ask
Makes me
me.
think of I don't know if you're into like true crime or whatever, but like Black Dahlia.
Yes,
It makes
this.
me think of that.
Wow. It's a very extreme example, Lily. But
But like,
I'll give it to you.
really, the ear to ear part.
Yeah, yeah. Yes. Anyway, we're not gonna get into
I have a
true crime.
dark mind,
We're not
guys.
gonna
No,
get into
just
true crime
kidding.
on this podcast. But I think so when he comes in and he starts singing Come What May to Her, and she wants to sing back, she's doing it to protect him because she doesn't want him to die. Because the Duke has just sat there, well, not sat there, just stood there and threatened that he's gonna get him killed. So she's like, well, if I sing along, they're gonna kill him, and I love him, and I don't. So this is my way to protect him. And she even says that she goes, I don't want to hurt him anymore. And I think, yeah, I think I completely agree with your point. And like I said, she's like, well, if I can do one good thing, I'm gonna protect him. But yeah, that
It just
scene.
breaks your heart because he also doesn't know. Christian knows like he's dangerous, but he doesn't know about the threat that the
Yeah.
Duke made. So it's even sadder because he just thinks that he's being rejected.
Yeah, and you see that on his face and how upset he
Gosh,
is. I
it's
tell you,
just
that part always, I'm just like,
that scene. Oh my gosh.
I feel like I'm getting stabbed in the heart in that scene. If I cry at any time in the show, the only time I've cried is during that scene. I will tear up. And I've only done that twice because you feel that raw emotion. And that, if you've ever been in a relationship or you've ever been rejected or you've ever been in love or you've ever been in any situation like that, you can kind of relate to it a little bit because um it hurts. It really hurts. And I think that's what I love about this show is because you can connect with this show on so many levels. Even if you haven't been in love, you can connect to the show because, at the beginning of the show, it says, no matter your sin, you're welcome here, no matter what. And you connect because you feel like you belong.
You also just start to feel for the characters. Like
Hmm.
again, like as you said, like even if you've never been in a relationship or had that experience of being in love or, being rejected or something like that, you can still feel for the characters. You know, just like when you're watching a movie or a TV show. Um, you get attached to the characters that you love and um, just to see that golden retriever energy just get snatched away and all that those hopes and dreams, it's sad to watch, whether you personally feel it or not. So,
That's true. Let's see what else I have.
do you got
Um,
another con for? Do you have another con for Christian?
I think I do have one con, another con for Dookie though. Or Dookie. I think the Duke is very again, this kind of comes back to what we just talked about. Before I get into the con, you mentioned this to me and what the Duke on the first national tour of Moulin Rouge here in North America said. Andrew Brewer said that um what did he say? You know about it more
Oh,
than I do.
yeah, he said in an interview that like both Christian and the Duke um want similar things and they're really similar guys, really, but it's just the way they go about living life, the way they go about handling the situation that they're in is very different.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of a bit of a con for Dookie because he he knows what he wants. He's like, I want Satine. This is what I want. And he tells it, like, this is what I want. I own Satine. He even said, he goes, I own her. He like she's a possession.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a bit of a con for him because he's very like I said, that possession and that he wants to own her and he wants to like a prized possession. And he even calls her like my mistress and he doesn't want you shouldn't be performing, so you're not showing yourself to everybody. It seems like it's more like a I don't know. I feel like it's more of a goal for him in life than to love her. Again, I don't know. I think it'd be a really interesting question to ask like people, like other cast members, like if we get more people on the show, like definitely to ask people what they think. And other people's opinions. Maybe we'll do a poll. Maybe we'll do a poll and ask people what
Yeah,
they
I
think. Do
was
you think
like, that's
Duke loved
I
Satine?
yeah, like I literally have like I was like I have a couple questions, but it's just like one of them was, do you think the Duke really truly loved Satine? Like
That's
what
the
is his
thing.
love language first of all? Second of all,
Not
does he
dingy
love
black
Satine?
dresses. Does not like dingy black dresses.
He loves the singing and dancing though.
Oh, and he's like
The
lots of jumping
kicking.
and kicking. I love that scene. That scene just makes this the
So
moment
good.
he goes lots of jumping and kicking, not all this
Kicking.
talk. And he's like, all
And
this
Dylan does this
talk.
thing where he literally just like does the ballet
Yep.
moves. It's the funniest thing. Anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's a really good question because like it's just like can does the Duke love Satine? Like obviously we see Christian love Satine, but does the Duke love her in a different way? Like,
Yeah, it's what is it? Like I said, that my con for him is how he's very possessive and he wants to
mhm.
own her and it's more like kind of like a game to him. It's more like a, oh well, I want her, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna buy the Moulin Rouge where she's performing at. I don't care what's going on. Yeah, I'll fund the show because why not? And then afterwards, like that's it, Satine's mine. So yeah, I think that's definitely a red flag. For
Yeah, I literally
not a green flag.
I wrote that down too. Just the fact that he like number one, he doesn't really listen very well. He's just kind of like, I own you. You're my possession. And it is a red flag. Like, you want somebody who cares about you, not somebody who, like, you just feel like they're possession that they can parade around, you know? And then another thing is that he just doesn't, like, I might be reiterating myself, but, or repeating myself, but, like, he doesn't understand that Satine doesn't want the life that he gives her. She might not want the chateau or the carriage or something. She just wants a stable life. But he just kind of is just like, you see that chateau over there? That's yours. He doesn't say if you want it. He just says that's yours, which is, I mean, for me personally, I'd be like, oh my god, that's great. But you know, and he's like, you have to give up performing, and she's like, what? And maybe that's just because that's the life that she's always known is performing. So she doesn't really, and I think that's a part of the conflict too, is that she doesn't really have a life outside of the Moulin Rouge, and she doesn't know a life outside of the Moulin Rouge. So she's very conflicted on like what she truly wants.
And that's the thing, like
Um,
these people are her family.
mhm.
These people care about her, they love her and these are her family. And she's like, wait a second, if I give this up, does that's it. Like I have no one except for the Duke
Except for the Duke,
and maybe Pierre. Who knows?
maybe Pierre.
Good old Pierre. Oh,
Pierre.
Pierre.
But
Anyway,
yeah.
that's everything I have. Do you have anything to add? Any pros,
I
cons,
mean,
any questions, concerns, complaints?
I mean, I kind of have like one small con for Christian. Um, and I think it can go either way. What do they call like in between a red flag and a green flag?
Yellow flag.
Yellow
I have
flag.
no
Thank
idea. I
you.
just made that up on the spot.
I don't know. There's like beige flag. I don't know what that is
Is it?
either.
Yeah, I don't know what a beige flag. Maybe it's like a red and green. I have no idea what color that means.
I don't know. Whatever is in between a
We'll
red
just
flag and
say
a green flag.
yellow because
This is kind of a yellow flag.
amber
For
yellow.
Christian is that um he kind of forces Satine to be in the affair. He's just kind of like, let me love you. And she's like, an affair, is that what you really want? And it's like, just, he kind of, like, he's being upfront, and we love that, but he's not really listening either. No one's really listening to Satine, like, at all. Because it's like, she already had told Christian repeatedly that like you don't know my life and this might be my only way out. So you have to just respect that. And he's just so convinced that like, oh my god, like we're gonna be in love. That takes over, and he's
He's like,
just
oh,
like,
happy
let's
ever.
have an affair.
It'll all
Let's
work out
start
in
an
the
affair.
end. It's all gonna be
Yeah,
sunshine and rainbows, and he's just like,
it's gonna be great. You're gonna choose, yeah. So, and like the thing is that like I do think that Christian deep down inside knew that Satine loved him, knew that there was something there for sure. but at the same time, he doesn't really listen to Satine when she says, like, this might be my only way out. You need to respect that. Um, I don't exactly know what the quote is. It's like, judge me if you will for that, but you don't know my life, I think is what the quote is. And that is very true. He has not lived her life. He doesn't he only knows her as this, sparkling diamond.
Sparkling diamond.
And it's just kind of this thing where you're just kind of like, it gives you a little bit of an ick.
A little ick.
It's like if there's somebody who was trying to, woo me in that way, and I'm just kind of like, no, like I need to live my life. I need to just at least have some breathing room to choose and to have some time to figure my own life out and what I want in my own life. You know, I would also feel a little bit crowded
Yeah,
with
it's definitely
either both Christian and the Duke coming at me. I would be like, I would be so distressed, and she is for most of the show. Meanwhile, she is dying of consumption, so that just adds another layer.
yeah, I agree. I agree. Though I think yeah, I don't think anyone I think I don't think Satine's fully innocent either. I don't think a lot of them, I think everyone has done bad things and some worse than others.
I
But yeah.
also think I wrote one more thing down. Is just like just in general. I think the Duke is necessary for the money for sure, but it's not really what everyone wants. Even the Duke, like, I don't know if he wants to be investing in the Moulin Rouge,
Again, I think he
you
did it
know?
just by Satine's love.
Yeah. So,
He's like, I'll fund the show because it amuses me. But it's like,
right. I mean, to be fair, the pitch song, hilarious. I'll be like, y'all are crazy, but this is great. This is hilarious.
awesome. But yeah, I think it's definitely a battle of the love, and it's like, you know, having two guys fawn over you must be so difficult. Two great guys as well, great-ish guys. Sorry, Dukie. But yeah, I think that's all I have for Team Duke versus Team Christian. I think they're both great characters, and I think the actors who do play them really well. And I love seeing people's interpretation of the characters. And I do agree. I love Christian and Satine together. But make no mistake, I'll be your Satine, Dukie. Just kidding. I'm just
I'll
kidding.
take that. If
I'll
she doesn't
take the
want you,
yellow
if she doesn't
chateau.
want you, I'll take you on your yellow
Look, we
chateau.
live in 2024, the housing crisis in this country. I will take the yellow chateau. Okay.
Yes,
I don't
please and
want
thank you.
I don't want the big purple hat that falls off a lot. Sorry. Um,
As long as we don't have the hat, I'll take
I'm good, I'm
it.
good. But yeah,
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, I want to add that like Sleetler, man. Sleetler's kind of the one who forces Satine with the Duke. I know people are gonna come after me with that one, but it is kind of true.
Zidler is a little bit, yeah, he kind of puts business before everybody else. He's like, oh,
Which I mean,
he makes a
if your
decision,
entire business is failing, yeah, I mean that's so scary.
but he
But
like makes a
mm,
decision and doesn't like tell anybody. He's like,
that's
sure.
the thing. I think that's the con about a lot of these characters is that they don't listen to each other. They
Communication,
really don't.
not really big in
Not a
1899.
thing. Not a thing. But as you said, like the character, both the Duke and Christian are great characters, and I think that's why I love the show so much. Is that there's pros and cons to each character of the show. They're so like in depth, and you get to know each character so well, and they're so well developed and well rounded, that we are able to have like a pros and cons discussion for each of the characters. It's not all one sided. So
No, I agree. I think it's great. I'm curious to see what people who listen to the podcast think. I'm really curious to see what you guys think about it. Um, this has been a good one. I think it's So much
Please
for
don't hate us
please
for
don't
loving the
hate
Duke.
me for liking the Duke. Look, I can't help it. I should have worn my
I
Duke
mean, you guys,
shirt.
Come What May Memes is a great Instagram account. Okay.
Okay, please don't hate me. And so is yours, Lily. Lily has a great account. So off topic, next week's a week. We are back. We are so back in the city. Very exciting. Very exciting.
Wait, is it? No, it's not next week.
It's
It's
next week.
no, it's not next week. It's
It
the next week.
girl, it's next week. It's Sunday. You don't start your week on Sundays?
No, I mean it's in two
Really?
weeks. It's in
It's
2 weeks.
not. No, it's
No,
not.
because it's the 11th next Sunday. It's the Super Bowl.
This okay. Do you know what? It's next Friday. It's next Friday. I'm back in the city. Maybe you should have come on Friday. I'm just gonna make her feel bad for that forever. My favorite thing is making people feel bad. I'm kidding. I love people. I'm not a mean person. I'm very love. I would like to say I'm a very lovely person.
You are.
Um,
You definitely are.
oh my God, stop.
Oh, God.
But
Jules and I
anyway,
literally talk about like more than probably we should about how much we have fun just doing this.
we this is the highlight of our weeks, and we hope you guys like it. Because if and this is what it's fun. It's just done for fun and it's lighthearted. And we're so excited for like all new episodes coming. We have so many things planned, and yeah, it's just fun. And we haven't been cancelled yet. Woo!
I, I've been just trying to study audition material. I got an audition that I got to submit before we get to New York, and this is really nice to just kind of break away from that.
It's a nice little break. It's a nice little break, and it's doing something we love to do and talking about something we love. So thank you for listening and coming
Yes.
along our journey with us because we love it. And
And I apologize for this episode probably being
it's very
longer
scatterbrained. It's been a
and
very it's
scatterbrained.
been a very long week for both Lily and
It's
I.
been a long week and day because we're in mourning. I think this is our morning um slap happiness.
Like the moment I woke up this morning, it started because I was getting all the
It just hit.
notifications from Moulin Rouge Australia. Even last night, I was getting them. So like my
Oh.
morning started
Oh yeah,
yesterday.
because like they're yeah.
They're 17 hours ahead from me. So it
Mm-hmm.
just my whole night and morning was just like bam, bam, bam.
Oh god.
So it's
That was literally me. That was literally me when Derek left on July 30th. I was in the bar. I was in a club and I was drinking wine and I was like, it's July 30th. And it like clock struck midnight. I was like, it's July 30th, crying in a club, literally.
yeah, it's definitely a feeling. So I think a lot of people are also on the same feeling train as we are.
I cried so
So
much that day, but I cried. Yeah, it's an emotional day.
oh yeah, but we'll be back next week, like we always are. We are back, booked and busy. Thank you for listening to today's Scatterbrain episode. We appreciate every single one of you, and we'll be back.
If y'all can't accept us at our best, you
You
don't
don't deserve us at our worst,
at our
baby.
worst.
All right. Well, I think this is it. This is
Yep.
goodbye, Christian. Goodbye. Uh,
Stop. Stop. Guys, we are not well.
goodbye, all. I'll see you next week.
Bye, everyone.